We need to remember is when we're planting all these bulbs, we have to take in consideration what plants are going to be popping up in the spring that might take over certain areas, and be sure to space these bulbs out when we plant them. Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden.
Hi you guys, happy Thursday to you. Hope you're all doing really well, and it's day 164.
If you don't know, we're the Quarantine Gardeners, and this is our daily video log of us accomplishing projects in our garden while we're under quarantine.
And thank you for watching, you guys, and for being here today. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on every daily video that we post.
So guys, today we're going to talk to you and show you how we plan in our front yard for planting new bulbs.
'Tis the season, right? Because fall bulb planting is coming up, and we need to place some orders with some companies that we love for bulbs. And we want to get some tulips, daffodils, maybe some more alliums.
Maybe some crocus.
Crocus. I mean, there's so many bulbs. And with our planning and ordering, I mean, I'm ready to get online and just buy thousands of bulbs, but we, A, don't have the room for all of those right now, and B, not all of the bulbs we want are gonna work in the spaces we have available.
We have to consider the spacing, we have to consider the light, we have to consider water, the soil, a lot of different things. So we're gonna show you how we do it today. Okay guys, we're at the front of our house, and this is the area right off our driveway where we want to plant new bulbs.
A lot of new bulbs. And if you watched an earlier episode, like earlier this spring, we actually cut back this azalea way back. I mean, it was taking over this whole bed.
Yeah, we lifted it up off the ground and took it back into its canopy, and we gained a whole bunch of space. If you can imagine, right here, this is what it's currently at. It actually went all the way down to the ground, so all of this bed space was completely covered. We couldn't use it, and now we can.
I know, and with our planting, we added bulbs last year. We've added bulbs every year we've lived here.
Mainly in this area right here.
But we never really planned it out very well. We just threw in the ground what we liked and didn't really design, so well.
Not so much. We kind of scattered them and mixed up the daffodils and the tulips in this area. And what we did is we actually followed the spacing requirements on the packaging of each tulip and daffodil bulb that we got. So it's interesting, guys, because when we followed those spacing instructions, the bulbs, when they popped up out of the ground, looked so spaced out. It didn't look right.
Yeah, like Sean said, they were all over in here, and they were beautiful, but they just didn't really have any order to them. There was no design. We just kind of, and in fact, we were kind of running late, and we just sort of got them in the ground quick.
Yep.
So I agree, we didn't like the spacing. We're gonna tighten them up this year and make more groups and lines, probably. I don't know what you think, Sean, but I'm thinking groupings of red and white and maybe yellow.
Yeah, sounds really nice. I think what we're gonna do this year too is we'll definitely not follow the spacing requirements on the packaging, and we'll kind of do our own spacing. We're gonna make them a little bit tighter than last year.
I wanna definitely tighten them up. But I'd love to see a row, kind of maybe a couple really defined rows of color, kind of going up the side here of our driveway.
That'd be beautiful.
And then coming around the side of our walkway. The problem is we have a huge dogwood tree above us.
Here's our dogwood tree, guys.
So this is where Sean and I start our real planning, because
it's really big.
We really have to start thinking, okay, well, in the early spring, this tree has not leafed out yet. So you actually do have a lot more sun in this bed. But once it leaves out in usually April, maybe end of April, there's shade. So which bulbs will actually grow here and thrive here?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what we put underneath this tree and what we come up with a plan and groupings. It's gonna be beautiful. So honey, we just talked about some spacing, some area, and we talked about underneath the shade tree here. So what about color combinations? What are you thinking for color combinations through here?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I really, for some reason, I'm really set on solid colors right now, like whites, reds. Those would really pop in this bed. Maybe some purple or deep blue if we can find them.
Yeah, that'd be great up close to the house, and that would be beautiful.
Yeah, that would be beautiful.
So guys, with talking about color combinations and spacing and even shade, what we really need to do too is look down here, and we've got these hostas, as you can see. I'm gonna focus in on one here, but we've got some more down the way here. There's one right there. Yep, one right there. What we need to remember is when we're planting all these bulbs, we have to take in consideration what plants are going to be popping up in the spring that might take over certain areas, and be sure to space these bulbs out when we plant them so they don't overgrow or they don't get overgrown by these hostas or by any other plants.
Right, we also have 2 hellebores in here, which will bloom in the winter to late winter, even early spring. Yeah, so that's another consideration. And these are young plants. We put these all in here to fill in this bed and start designing underneath this dogwood tree.
Yep, and I'm glad you brought that up too, honey, because the hellebores are going to keep blooming all the way up until and past when the daffodils and the tulips start coming up, at least in our area, at least in our region. And even these primroses up here and around our yard, they'll be blooming too. So we'll have some continual blooming at least from around Christmas with the hellebores, and then into winter with some of the primroses, and then early spring, late winter, early spring with the daffodils, and then the tulips later. So we're gonna have some continuous flowering in this area.
Which would be great, because that's exactly what we want. Now that we have all this bed space, since we pruned up the azaleas and we removed all the vinca, which we forgot to mention. You might have seen that video. We had vinca all over in here.
Oh yeah, the vinca.
Yeah, we have all this space now. So it's always a work in progress, right?
That's right, always a work in progress. So guys, these are some of the things that we consider when we start thinking about planting bulbs around our garden.
Like Sean said, there's so much to consider, and definitely spacing of the bulbs is a consideration for us this year. We want to make tighter groupings, so that means we need to order more bulbs. We're also thinking about color. You know, what white and red, maybe yellow, solid colors, but we might find some things we like that are mixed colors.
And also guys, make sure to consider the lighting, you know, how much light your plants needs, either full sun, partial sun, or more shade, and what other plants you're planting around, and when are they gonna come up during the time of year that the plants you're planting, like spring bulbs, and how they're going to influence them.
Yeah, and the hardest part right now is I have carts created everywhere, but mainly Brent and Becky's bulbs, which we highly recommend.
Go there, guys.
Eden Brothers is another great place to get bulbs, and Color Blends. So I have huge carts created everywhere. I don't even think Sean has seen them all yet. So there's so many fun things to order right now, and right now is the time to get your orders in, because you want to get these things planted in the fall.
And guys, one more thing about planting when you're going to plant your bulbs or any other plants. Make sure to double check their hardiness zones on the USDA hardiness zones. If a plant isn't hardy in your area, think twice before buying it and planting it into your garden. So guys, with that, leave your comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you. Give us that thumbs up, let us know we're doing a good job, and subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
Yeah, that's a wrap for today. We are probably gonna head inside and look at some of the things I have in the cart so Sean can get caught up. And we'll be back tomorrow with our Friday plant chat, you guys. So come on back to see which plant we're highlighting, and have a great day ahead.
See you tomorrow, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.